It's Sunday morning with Mark Sainsbury.
Business time now, and our business expert in all manners, Harold Hillman, leadership coach. Of course, he wrote the extremely successful book, The Imposter Syndrome. I think it's about imposters in the workplace, not himself. Is that correct, Harold?
That's correct, Mark.
And, of course, you can check him out for yourself on sigmoidcurve.com. This week, Harold, vision statements. Now, I'm really pleased you picked this because, personally, I've always thought they're a load of crock, you know, and not to be disrespectful, you'll get one of these highfalutin business consultants like yourself coming in and telling them, you need a vision statement.
Yeah, now there is, I often ask people to think about it at a very personal level in terms of the significance of a vision. And when a person no longer is growing and no longer sort of stretches themselves to a sort of a new level of capability and a new level of confidence, they get bored, and boredom is a stressor, and people experience that, and companies experience that as well when there's not enough tension between how things operate now and what we can do to improve things around here, how we can be better than we currently are. So there is some, at a very personal level or at a company level, there is some energy that comes from putting stretch in between the way current things currently are and the way the company can be.
But does the vision statement really going to help or change that, Harold?
It tends to, a good vision statement is one that is relatively short and says a whole lot in a punch. I had the great fortune to be able to work with Fonterra, and, our vision statement was, one of the strongest I'd ever been associated with, and that is to be the global leader in dairy. Not just a leader in dairy, but global leader in dairy, where there's a huge aspiration. You've got to lift your standards high. Or with Auckland Council. I've worked extensively with Auckland Council around the amalgamation, and the vision that holds all of that together is to create the world's most livable city, which is something that, people can, it makes it worth all the hard work and blood, sweat, and tears. If we're building something that's bigger than any one of us, but something that we all need to pull together around. A vision can be very galvanizing.
It can also come back and bite you on the old butt, can't it? If you pick something that you can't live up to, or makes you almost is the opposite to what you've become. You become a bit of a laughing stock. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, you can overstretch, and there's a sense of, let's talk about what we can be, but let's do that within what's, considered to be realistic. There are three things that typically companies think about around their vision statements, Mark. One of those is that it has to be compelling, and that means it just has to resonate with employees in particular at a gut level. You have to sort of feel it and believe that if you don't come in every day, it won't be as effective, that real sense of visceral connection. And I mentioned stretch before. A good vision just takes us from where we currently are to a different level of capability and confidence. And then thirdly, it has to be directional, a sense of where we're going, which means that we have to make some choices about where we're not going as well. So a vision can put things on the line, and as you said, you have to commit to it, because if you don't, you can become a bit of a laughingstock.
Hey, what was Fonterra's one?
To be the global leader in dairy.
Oh, I'd come up with a perfect one for them.
You said, well, it really then states that you've got to lift your standard. You've got to lift your...
I said I've come up with the perfect one.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, milk it. I want you to run it past them, Harold. Look, I'm happy to share some of this IP with you on this one.
You know what, Mark? There are companies out there that charge gazillions of dollars to help companies come up with vision statements. That is not my forte. But hey, if you can sell milk, have at it.
So companies would pay a lot of dough for somebody who came up with a really good one, like nearly as good as mine. They'd pay some serious wedge.
Yeah, it is. And look, it's something that in some cases you pay a lot of money for it, Mark, and it goes on the wall or it goes on a poster and it doesn't mean anything to people. That's where you really want to think about it. It's you're trying to get people internally and other external stakeholders or even customers. You're just wanting them to lock in at a different level of commitment around your brand. And sometimes that pithy vision statement makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, well, look, good luck to them. As I said, I just think there's some absolutely shocking lame ones, but you're quite right. The good ones when they work are fantastic. Harold, look, we'll talk again next week. Harold Hillman. You can check out Harold, of course, at sigmoidcurve.com. He's the author of The Imposter Syndrome, and we'll talk to him again next week. Cheers, Harold.
Thanks, Mark.